This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of MSPN Digital Television and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of MSPN Digital Television.
To the broadcast booth for the pregame show on MSPN Digital Television.
Welcome, bright and early here in Omaha, Nebraska. We're at 9:24. This game's scheduled for a 9:30 start, or back for our fans tuning in from Dickinson, even a little bit earlier for you, 8:30 start for you here. It's trying to remember the last time I did a baseball game at 8:30 in the morning local time. It's been a while. I'm pretty sure I've done it, but it's been a while. Brandon Valley, we saw them about a week ago against the Fargo Post 400 Stars. That was a fantastic game. We'll tell you more about it here in just a moment as they get set to play the Dickinson Post 3 Roughriders here in Omaha, Nebraska on MSPN Digital Television. Stay tuned.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of three ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, welcome back. As we're a few minutes away here from the opening pitch, both teams have taken their infield and outfield warm-ups. As I mentioned a moment ago, we saw Brandon Valley. I said it was a week ago, and looking back, it was on June 15th, so it was 4 days ago. Take that back. It was on June 14th, so it was 5 days ago that we saw Brandon Valley, and that was a home game in a Sioux Falls tournament that featured the Fargo Post 400 Stars. That game remained scoreless until the top of the third when the Stars plated one and then they would get another one in the top of the fourth to take a 2-0 lead into the fifth where neither team would score. It would still be 2-0 going into the bottom of the sixth when Brandon Valley would tie it up, plating 2 runs of their own, not up at 2-2. Then at the top of the seventh, the Stars got one back to make it 3-2. And there were so many spectacular defensive plays by both teams in that particular game. And it came down to the final out, and it was Kane Mathiasen in center field who made a Superman-grabbing catch, is how the Brandon Valley player described it to me the next day in the press box. And one of the cool things that I enjoyed about that particular conversation is even though Brandon Valley lost that game, they held their heads up. They showed good sportsmanship. And when I found out that Dickinson was playing Brandon Valley and that it was an early morning game and I had nothing to do, I reached out last night to the Roughriders, the guy who controls the X account, and also Jim from the local radio station Dickinson. Between the two of them, I found out all the information I needed. One of the host sites here, Jason, got a hold of him last night, met Reese this morning, and everything is just awesome here. The only way that it could have been better is if they would have picked me up from my hotel in a limo. I mean, that's like the only thing they didn't do. It's been fantastic here, and we haven't even started this game yet. So we're looking forward to this one here. So once again, that was a 3-2 win for Fargo Post 400 over Brandon Valley. The Stars had 3 runs on 5 hits, on no Lynx errors, and they left 10 on base. Brandon Valley scored 2 on 5 hits on no Stars errors, and they left 6 on base. So that gives you a slight preview of what to expect in this contest. There are 2 players that did not play in that game that are playing in this game today, and there's 1 player not playing today that did play in that game. So other than that, it's all the same players, so according to the rosters. Let's take another timeout, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. No, we won't. We're going to keep it right here. It looks like we're not going to have time for a 30-second break, so we'll keep it right here and go right to the top of the first inning here for you.
Now batting number 5, Jack Price.
All right, so Jack Price is the first batter here for Dickinson. It'll be Jack Price, Kyler Kuderna, and Jake Bellier, your first 3 batters here for Dickinson. The starting pitcher for Brandon Valley is Brighton Stroh. Trying to remember where the scoreboard is at here. We're at 2 balls and no strikes. Done a few games from this field in the past. It's always been a fun experience. Strike 1 called there, 2-1 to Jack Price. Mason Veld is the starting catcher here for Brandon Valley, and obviously in the red jerseys. And then around the bases here after the 2-1 pitch. And now we're knotted up at 2-2. Max Peters playing first base. Ryder Mueller at second. Braden Knutson, the shortstop. Will Van Leeuwer at third. Cooper Ness in left field. Jack Blomgren in right field. And Caleb Severin in center field. Caleb's one of the players that did not play in that game against the Stars. Everybody else that I just mentioned did play against the Stars. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouled back there off the tip of the bat of Jack Price, and we'll stay at 2-2. Once again, we want to thank you for tuning into this broadcast. We know it was short notice, but we are so glad to be here, and we are so glad that you're tuning in and watching, and wish both teams the best of luck in this contest here. That one's going to be fouled off to the left side, and we're looking at another 2-2 pitch here coming up from Brighton Stroh. I have them down at 5 tosses so far. Ball, strike, fouled away, and a ball on a full count on that pitch there. And it is now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jack Price. Once again, Kyler Kuderna is on deck here for the Dickinson Roughriders. And the pitch. And it got the edge and struck him out. Nice pitch there by Brighton Stroh, and that will take care of Jack Price. And now Kyler Kuderna is the next batter here. So 7 pitches for Stroh against Price. And now pitch number 8 here to Kuderna. And that pitch misses outside for a ball, 1-0. We'll have at least one more Dickinson game for you here at this field, and that will be tomorrow night at 7:30 when they take on the Battle Warriors. And that is a hard hit ball to Mueller at second, and the 4-3 ground out will put out number 2 on the board and bring up Jake Belliet.
The left fielder number 2, Jake Belliet.
Swing and a miss there for a strike. 1-1. Or 0-1, excuse me. Now 0-2, so tip that one into the backstop. Not a very deep backstop here, so if a wild pitch or a pass ball does get through, you're going to have to be on your toes if you want to take advantage of that mistake. One of the more shallower backstops of all the fields that I've been to. Not just here in Nebraska, but everywhere that I've been to, so. Swing and a miss, and that is a strikeout, and that will do it for the top half of the first. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Lynx here on the Dickinson Roughriders. And coming up, it'll be Braden Knutson, Brighton Stroh, and Jack Blomgren, your first 3 batters. Nick Sobolik will be on the mound for Dickinson when we return after this. Stay tuned.
When one of us comes up short,
we all come up short.
There's no vape in team.
Think there are only school supplies in your child's backpack? Think again. 5 e-cigarettes were hiding in plain sight. Parents, do your homework.
Learn more about vaping at health.mn.gov/e-cigarettes.
All right, welcome back. Still scoreless here at Westside High School, home of the Westside Warriors in high school season and the Battle Warriors in the Summer Legion season. And once again, that's the team that Dickinson will play tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Once again, it's Nick Sobolik warming up on the mound. He's tossing him into the mitt of Malachi Medina. Around the bases, you got Tyler Danbaum at first. Emerson Simiano at second. Jack Price at shortstop. Brady Hecker at third. Jack Belliet in left field. Kyler Kuderna in center field. And Will Esom in right field. That's how Dickinson will set up defensively here going into the bottom half of the first inning. And once again, it's Braden Knutson who will lead it off here for Brandon Valley.
For Dickinson is number 7, Nick Sobolik. Now batting the shortstop, number 13, Braden Knutson.
Knutson in that game against the Stars went 1 for 3. He had a single to center field and a couple of flyouts, one to left field, one to center field. So that's what we know about Knutson so far as he takes the first pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. And a swing and a miss 0-2, and this is looking to be a first inning pitchers duel here. We'll see if that extends into the latter innings or not. That one outside, a nice grab there by Medina to be alert on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. And strike 3, got him looking. So some nice pitching from both sides of the scoreboard here. Brighton Stroh. Ground out to third and a fly out to left in that 3-2 loss to the Fargo Post 400 Stars 5 days ago. And this is a hard hit ball towards short. It is picked up there by Price, but he will not get it over in time. Or he did get it over in time. Okay. No, he didn't. It's a courtesy runner. Okay, so the courtesy runner is going to be
Number 30, Jake Holsa.
There we go. So going to the books is an infield single for Strode, a deep short. Pickoff attempt there on first. And that one will hit him. So now 2 runners on as Jack Blomgren gets hit by a pitch. He'll bring up Max Peters now. 7 minutes into the ball game.
Pitch brings up the first baseman, number 2, Max Peters.
Max Peters in the game versus the Stars had a bunt ground out back to the pitcher and a fly out to center field. So once again, runners on first and second here for Brandon Valley, and here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-0 here to Max Peters. 1 away, 2 runners on. Cooper Ness is on deck if no double plays occur. We'll see him next as Sobolek will look back at second, stare down the runner, wind and deliver the pitch. And it hit the edge for a strike. Nicely done to even up the count at a ball and 1 strike. So Sobolek will stare down the runner again, and he'll wind and deliver the 1-1. This time it's a high bouncer over the head of Sobolek, right over to Simiano, and out at second base. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Max Peters, taking out Jack Blomgren and moving the other runner over to third to put runners on the corners here. And Cooper Ness is the batter, but first, a discussion here between the umpire and the Dickinson coach. So runners on the edges, first and third. You got Max Peters on first, Tristan Culp on third, and the batter once again is Cooper Ness, moving Caleb Severin into the on-deck circle here with 2 away in the bottom half of the first. No score with the Lynx threatening here. The wind-up in the pitch. Swung on and a little blooper outside of the batter's box, and that'll turn into a 1-3 ground out, and that will prevent the run from scoring. They'll strand 2 on base, and we remain scoreless 10 minutes into the game after 1 inning of play. They did get a hit. That's about it. And they leave 2 on base. We'll take a break and come back with more in just a moment here on MSPN Digital Television. Stay tuned.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, welcome back. Wright and Stroh back on the bump. He tossed 12 pitches, according to my numbers, in the first inning of play, and he'll get to work on inning number 2 against the middle of the order for Dickinson. 4, 5, and 6. Brady Hecker, Tyler Danbaum, and Will Esom will be the batters we see for sure this inning here for the Roughriders.
The third baseman, number 10, Brady Hecker.
This field looks a lot different in the morning. I can tell you. Like I said, about I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, West Fargo played West Side or Battle, whatever they were called 4 years ago, and that game went to 14 innings, and it ended just shy of 2 a.m. in the morning. Our good buddy Eric Tiansen was here for that particular game. And he was a little jealous that I got to rest at the hotel while he continued to broadcast and broadcast and broadcast and broadcast after my game got done across town. 3 balls and no strikes now here to Brady Hecker. And he'll walk him on 4 pitches. So that'll be a runner on with the walk. And that'll bring up Tyler Danbaum. And I'm guessing that hit him. I didn't see it, but it must have hit him. Okay, my apologies. That was not a 4-pitch walk to Brady Hecker. It was a 3-1 pitch, and now he just got walked. And now it's Tyler Danbaum. So I got a pitch ahead of myself here, and big thanks to the guy in the booth here for helping me figuring that one out. 1 ball, no strike, and now it's 2 balls and no strikes here to Danbaum. Let's see, time was called before that pitch was thrown, so remain 2 balls and no strikes. And maybe a fortunate timeout call there for Stroh, as it would have landed in a 3-0 count easily there on that particular pitch. We'll see if he takes advantage of his second opportunity. Goes up a little high and a throw up to first. Hecker's back in time at the bag. And it's 3-0 here to Danbaum. Once again, Will Easom awaits on deck to bat here in this inning. And he will bat with nobody out yet. Once again, 3 balls, no strikes on the pitch. Outside, walked him. This time he did walk him on 4 pitches. And now Will Easom will make his way to the plate.
Right fielder number 6, Will Eason.
Once again, it's Mason Veld catching, Max Peters manning at first base, Ryder Mueller at second, Braden Knutson at short, Will Van Leeuwer at third. Cooper Ness in left field, Jack Blomgren in right field, Caleb Severin in center field, and a visit to the mound there for Brandon Valley to talk things over. As Dickinson has 2 runners on and nobody out here in the top half of the second inning, with Will Easom awaiting to take a couple swings of the bat here. Later this evening, fingers crossed, we'll have the Fargo Post 400 game. And then we'll have a little bit of time off heading into tomorrow. Okay, so it looks like we have a change here. And we'll take a break and sort it out and tell you those changes in just a moment. Stay tuned.
When one of us comes up short,
We all come up short.
there's no vape in team.
All right, welcome back. You didn't miss anything. They'll throw back to second, or at least mimic a throw to second. And that will go into center field, and that will allow Hecker to move to third and now put runners on the corners. Danbaum will stay tight at first base. So runners on the corners on the throwing error up to second, and still a 0-0 count, and that pitch will go into the backstop. And like I said, the backstop isn't that far back, and that fast of a pitch will bounce back just as quickly, and no opportunity for Hecker to potentially come in, but it does allow Danbaum to go to second. So that'll go second on a wild pitch, and now a base hit could give Dickinson a 2-0 lead here. 1-0 to Will Easom, and Will Easom smashes it to left field. It's not going to have quite the distance it needs, but it's going to be deep enough to allow Hecker to tag. Also, Danbaum tags from second, and actually he didn't catch the ball. It went over his head. So let's see here. 2 runs, 1 run will score, and it's 1-0 in favor of Dickinson.
The catcher number 11, Malachi Medina.
So it'll be a 1-run double for Will Easom. And Malachi Medina is the batter now here for Dickinson. Pitch is a little bit high for a ball, 2-0. So the Dickinson base runners were also not sure if Cooper Ness caught that out in left field or not, and that's why only 1 run scored. This one a high fly ball to shallow left, and right on the edge where the brown turf meets the outfield turf, it'll be Braden Knutson making the catch for out number 1. So a high pop out to short to the shortstop.
Number 8, Easton Hughlin.
Runners stay put, and Easton Hughlin is the batter now. Hughlin, batter 8 in the lineup here for Dickinson, and 1 away in the top of the second. Here's the pitch, and a high bouncing ball over to second base. Mueller picks it up, fires it over, run scores, and it's 2-0. Dickinson, and the second out, enters the board, and Will Easom moves over to third.
The second baseman number 14, Emerson Simeone.
So Dandom scores on the RBI ground out. Eastham to third on the same play. And now Emerson Simiano is the batter here for Dickinson. Two runs on one hit so far. And that one's inside, and we're at 2 balls and no strikes here to Simiano. And the 2-0. Low for ball 3. And a strike. So coming back from that break earlier, there was no change on the pitcher like we thought there might have been. And that'll be a base hit. Over a diving riding Mueller into right center field, scoring Eastham from third, and it's 3-0 Dickinson. Simiano with an RBI single. And that brings us back to the top of the order here for Dickinson, and the Roughriders will bring Jack Price to the mound. And that means Brighton Stroh tossed 30 pitches through the first 9 batters. 13 of them fell into the strike category. And that one's going to get away and allow Simiano to advance to second. We'll call it a wild pitch. And that's a bouncing ball to third. Van Leur will pick it up, fire it across, and he got it there in time. So they'll strand Simiano on second, but that's only 1 on, and that ends the top half of the second inning here. It's 3-0 Dickinson. And now they'll switch the bats for the gloves and go out and play some defense. We'll be back in a moment here on MSPN Digital Television.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information, or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
Welcome back. Bottom of the second, Dickinson with a 3-0 lead. Sobolek will, through 1 inning of work so far, has tossed 10 pitches, according to my numbers. So that's unofficially puts him at 7 strikes and 3 balls. Not a bad split on 10 pitches. 70% of them either called strikes or batted away foul or something to that degree. A couple other variations that count in that. Caleb Severin now is the batter. They're in the 6, 7, and 8 part of the order, Brandon Valley is, and the first pitch is in for a strike right at the knees of Severin, 0-1. Sobolek delivers, swing and a miss, strike 2. Once again, Medina catching, Danbaum first, Simiano at second, Price at short, Hecker at third, Belliet in left, Kudrna in center, and Eastham in right. It's the defensive setup here for Dickinson. And time is called. I believe it was called by the catcher. We'll reset here. 0-2. And going to left and drifts foul over the left field foul line. We'll stay tight at 0-2. And the 0-2 delivery outside for a ball. 1-2. We'll see if he comes back inside or not, and he will. Oh, right back at the drilled it right back at Sobolek, and he had to react quickly, and that ball sneaks out into center field. Close call there. It's a hit, and it's a single for Severin. Now bring up Will Van Leur.
Third baseman number 19, Will Van Leur.
Saw a play similar to that in the College World Series yesterday. I think it was the Oregon and Louisville game, if I remember correctly. The only difference is that pitcher lost his shoe and made a diving throw over to first, which I thought was still cool. Even though the runner was safe, I thought it was still a cool play. We'll try to pick off there at first, and that won't be in time. Roughriders have already taken in a College World Series game a couple days ago since they've been down here in Omaha. So hope they enjoyed that experience. Now the throw up to second, and not in time, and Severin will steal second. And once again, the count is 2 balls and no strikes to Will Van Leur. Van Leur in that game against the Stars had a fly out to right, a ground out to third, and then laid down a bunt single down the third base line in that game versus the Stars. High and in, ball 3. So stolen base for Severin puts him in scoring position here. All he needs is for Van Leur to get a base hit. And that is a nice pitch that Van Leur did not bite at, and it results in strike 1. Most batters won't bite at a 3-0 pitch, but that was still a good pitch to swing at if it wasn't a 3-0 count. Sobolek will deliver. The runner goes. Now the throw to third is not in time. It was very, very close. But another stolen base by Severin pushes him 90 feet closer to home.
Catcher number 8, Mason Bell.
So that'll bring up Mason Vald now as Van Leur will reach first on a walk on that Severin stolen base. It would have been, yeah, no, it's a stolen base because he wasn't forced to go there on the walk. So runners on the corners as a result. First pitch there to Veld is into the dirt for a ball, or into the turf, however you want to look at it. Nice sunny day here in Omaha, Nebraska. Take a look at the weather forecast shortly here. I looked at it earlier, but one thing I've noticed is that it changes a lot, especially yesterday. 2 balls and no strikes as we have a visit to the mound here for Dickinson. So 2-0, runners on the corners. Van Leur on first, Severin on third for Brandon Valley. Mason Veld is the batter, and I believe this will just be a chat, nothing more than that. And that certainly appears to be the case. .77 degrees right now, on our way to a forecasted high of 90. And wind gusts light to a max of about 12 miles per hour. So we should have sunshine through this entire game and be in the upper 70s, maybe see 80 or 81 by the time this game wraps up, but upper 70s for sure. Three and all. First pitch after the chat results in ball 3. We'll see if Sobolek can cash in with his free strike coupon here. He'll glance over at Van Leur on first and try and pick him off and head for a slide. He's back in time. Brandon Valley finds themselves down 3-0, and they're in a position to get at least one of those runs back here with nobody out and runners on the corners. And there's a strike on the inside edge from Sobolek, and it's 3-1. Reached 30 minutes, time of the ball game now. Van Leeuwen will get a slight lead off on first. And the pitch, it'll be bunted down the first base line. Nice bunt, and they will get him out at first, and the run will score. So Severin scores from third to make it 3-1 on an sacrifice bunt. And that will also move the other runner to second.
Second baseman number 41, Ryder Mueller.
A 1-3 on the out at first. That advances Van Leeuwen to second. Ryder Mueller, the batter now. Sobolek with pitch 26, according to my numbers right here. And this is all smashed towards Jack Price. Over to third, they got him. They'll tag him out, and they will get out number 2. So they get the lead runner off base. Now we'll let Mueller
Shortstop number 13, Braden Knudsen.
on with a fielder's choice. So 6-5 on the tag out at third. Braden Knudsen, the batter now, with a runner on first and 2 away. That runner goes, and that's a high fly ball left field. Running after it is Jack Belliette, and he makes the catch right in front of the foul line. And that is going to leave one stranded on base, and that will take us to the third inning of play. 2 complete, and it's a 3-1 game in favor of Dickinson. We'll be back in just a moment here on MSPN. Stay tuned.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, we move to the top of the third here at the home of the Battle Warriors. I have to remember what the B stands for sometimes. I just learned it earlier today. And Dickinson will play the Battle Warriors tomorrow night, 7:30. We'll have that game for you here on MSPN. Bryton Stroh still on the mound. Through 2 innings of work, 32 tosses, 14 of them have been recorded as strikes. He's given up 3 runs on 2 hits so far. 1 Brandon Valley error, and has stranded 1 Dickinson runner on base up to this point in the game. Both teams with a pair of hits. But the one that matters the most at the moment here, it's the 3-1 lead for Dickinson. And it's Kyler Kuderna coming up to the plate now, batter 2 in the lineup. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to Ryder Mueller, the second baseman, on a 4-3 last time he was at the plate. Pitch will come outside for ball number 1. 32 minutes into the ball game. Once again, sunny skies, 77, on our way to a forecasted high of 90. At last check. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Outside and high for ball 2. 2 pitches and 2 balls from Stroh to Kuderna. And pitch 35 for Stroh coming up right here. Swinging and a miss. Got 1 by him. 2-1. Once again, Kuderna grounded out to second his last at bat, so he's 0 for 1. Jack Belliette is in the on-deck circle here for the Roughriders, and he'll take that one foul to the right field side and out of play. And 2 balls, 2 strikes will be the end result of that. And this is a grounder out towards Knudsen at short. He'll fire it over, and he got it there in time. Max Peters had to stretch out and make sure his right leg was still on the bag, but they did complete the 6-3 ground out. So that puts 1 away and brings up Jack Belliette.
Left fielder number 2, Jake Belliette.
0 for 1, struck out swinging last time he was at the plate. And that pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-0 here to Belliette. Brady Hecker moves into the on-deck circle. Belliette and Hecker, batters 3 and 4 in the lineup here for Dickinson. And the pitch, I thought for a moment that was going to break even further inside and potentially hit him, but it didn't. And it'll result in ball 2. One away in the 2-0 pitch. High for ball 3. So we'll see if Stroh can come back with a strike here and avoid walking him on 4 pitches. Nobody on, 1 away here for Dickinson in the top half of 3, and there's a strike right down the middle, 3-1. Another nice pitch on the outside edge. It's not easy to hit the edges of a plate there, but he did it successfully that time. We'll see where he goes with this one. Maybe outside, no, right down the middle. And that will, it will not sneak by the second baseman, but Ryder Mueller did enough to keep it from going into right field. Diving play, I'd probably go hit on that. We'll see if the scoreboard agrees with me. And it looks like they do agree with me on that. So Brady Hecker was walked last time he was at the plate. He's 0 for 0. Take the first pitch down low for a ball. So an infield single for Belliette, who currently stands on first. And and he fell down and he got tagged out. He got caught leaning the wrong direction, then he lost his footing trying to switch his momentum there, and he got tagged out as he tripped himself up. And an unfortunate base running mistake there by Belliette, and they'll take the runner off base. And once again, the count is, I think it's still 1-0 here. Yeah, it is, yep. And there's a 1-1 count now here. It happens. It's not like he purposely didn't get back to the bag in time. He certainly tried, but gravity said no this time. 2 balls and a strike here to Brady Hecker with no runners on base. Make that 3 balls and a strike. And that'll be ball 4. So Dickinson will replace that base runner with Brady Hecker, and we'll see if he can stay on his feet. And I say that not in a negative way.
Tyler Danbaum.
Tyler Danbaum, strike 1. He was walked last time, so he's 0 for 0. And this is pitch 50 coming up for Stroh, according to my numbers. He'll glance over at Hecker on first. He'll set, nod, and fire over to first. And Hecker's back in time. A little bit high. I'll even up at a ball and a strike. So now that's 50 pitches, and it's 28 balls and 22 strikes on those 50 tosses. That one will curve ball will hit for strike 2. Fooled Danbaum into thinking that pitch was going to stay elevated, and it broke down at the last moment. And that one, it almost looked like it went through the glove of Veld, but it didn't. It went off the top of it. Brady Hecker will advance to second, ball 2, so 2 ball, 2 strike count. Roughriders up 3-1 here, and a runner in scoring position. And that is going to be outside for ball 3, and we have a full count now here to Danbaum. Will Easom awaits on deck here for Dickinson. 2 away, though. We'll see if he gets to the plate or not. It's all up to Dan Baum. And the pitch. And this is going to left field. Coming in is Cooper Ness. He'll collect it on a bounce. Rounding third is Brady Hecker. He will score. And it is 4-1 on an RBI single by Dan Baum to left field.
Regular number 6, Will Easom.
Will Easom, 1 for 1, doubled on a deep shot to left field that was originally thought caught and then not caught by Cooper Ness. And he got an RBI off that hit as well. Probably could have gotten 2 RBIs, but the base runners weren't even sure if he caught it or not. So they tagged on base, thinking he caught it. And as a result, only 1 runner scored in that scenario instead of 2. At the moment, I think Dickinson fans are okay with that as they maintain a 4-1 lead at the moment. 1 ball, 1 strike to Will Easom. And another pickoff attempt there on Dan Baum, who stands on first base for the Roughriders. 2 away in the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So ball and 2 strikes now here to Will Easom. Once again, Malachi Medina awaits for an opportunity to potentially bat here in the top of the third. Outside, ball 2. So the count's even at 2-2 now as Dan Baum touches up on first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Stroh will look over his shoulder at the runner on first and deliver the pitch. Low, and that is ball 3 and a full count. A nice block there by Mason Veld. That one could have easily gone into the backstop and advanced Dan Baum up to second, but it did not happen this time around. So full count with 2 away. We'll see if Stroh can put the Rough Riders away here in the top of the third inning, or if the bat of Easom will keep this inning going. Guess I didn't factor in that possibility. Pickoff attempt on Dan Baum. And the payoff pitch, runner goes, and it's fouled back. So the runner will come back, and we'll try this again. Walking around earlier, saw a lot of Dickinson fans in attendance here today, so that's always good to see. Looks like there's a handful of Brandon Valley fans here too. And a walk to Easom will put runners on first and second.
Catcher number 11,
Bring up Malachi Medina. Shot foul for a strike, 0-1. Right field, that's going to be a base hit. That might score Dan Baum. Here he comes around third. Cruising into third is Easom. He'll put on the brakes there. It's an RBI single from Medina, the catcher, and it is now 5-1 in favor of Dickinson. And I would imagine that we'll have a courtesy runner, and we will, for Medina. And that will be Camden Kubis, who will take over the running responsibilities on first.
Camden Kubis. Designated hitter number 8, Easton Hughley.
All right, so runners on the corners, a 2 away, a 5-1 lead now after the single by Malachi Medina. That earned himself an RBI, and it's Easton Hughlin now. 0 for 1 on a ground out to second base last time he was at the plate as they try to pick off Cubis, and he's back in time. So Dickinson slowly but surely building this lead up here. They snagged 3 of those runs in the top of the second. Brandon Valley got 1 back, and now Dickinson has gotten that 1 back plus 1 more. And they are threatening to potentially put more on the board here. But there is 2 outs. Still no pitch here to Hughlin. And here will be the first pitch. And it is in for a strike. A knee-level strike to Hughlin. Once again, he grounded out to second base last time he was at the plate. Sunny and 77 on our way to 90 degrees here in Omaha, Nebraska. And another pickoff attempt there on Cubis at first. My numbers suggest this will be pitch 65 for Stroh. And that'll just miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubis will get a moderate lead off on first. And he'll go. And that pitch is to the outside, and that will result in no attempted throw. And it'll be a stolen base for Cubis. So now 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. And a jog to the mound here from the coach. It's going to be a 3 best friends visit instead of the normal team visit. Pull that line from the Hangover movie when they're in the car singing 3 best friends. Our home DJ guy played that song on a 3-person visit to the mound, and I've been using it ever since because I found it a little humorous. It's better though if you actually play the song instead of having me just talk about it. So. Once again to reset, Will Eastham on second, Camden Cubis on, Will Eastham on third, Camden Cubis on second. 2 balls and a strike here to Easton Hughlin. Grounded out to second, 0 for 1 at the moment. So we return to action now. Stroh will wind up and deliver low, ball 3. Now Stroh is potentially a pitch away from loading the bases here. And it's Emerson Simiano on deck. And that'll be ball 4. So Simiano make his way to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Second baseman number 14, Emerson Simiano.
And they're waving in Cooper Ness from left field, and we're going to have a pitching change. And that will do it. Brighton Stroh unofficially, 67 pitch. He'll face Simiano here in the first batter, 49 minutes into the contest. Simiano, batter 9, then we'll return to the top of the order here. But once again, there is 2 outs, and the bases are loaded. So any ground ball sets up a force out at home. Inside for ball 1. But then again, any ground ball sets up a force out at the nearest base as well. And he went to the outside edge and went a little bit too far outside, and it's 2-0 now here to Simiano. Three and 0. And that'll be a bases loaded walk. Simiano will earn an RBI on that walk, and it is now 6-1. It scores Will Easton from third and moves Cameron Kubis up to third, Easton Hughlin to second, and now Jack Price, top of the order, 0 for 2. Struck out looking, ground out to third. Strike one here. That's the first strike that Felderman has thrown. And he tried to hit the edge and will even up the count at a ball and a strike. So, let's see here. Felderman's only responsible for Simiano on first. The other two runners would go to the other pitcher, and that will find its way into left field past a diving Braden Knutson. And they play at the plate, safe, 2-run score. Runners on first and second. It's a 2-run RBI single for Jack Price. And it is now 8-1 in favor of the Dickinson Roughriders.
Center fielder number 3, Tyler Kudernoff.
And they've done this all on 2 outs. Strike one on the foul there to Kudernoff. 0 for 2, pair of groundouts. The first one to second base, the second one to the shortstop. 4-3 and a 6-3. Third base is open right now as that pitch is high, and Kudernoff had to duck down to avoid getting clipped in the helmet by that one. One ball, one strike. Felderman looks back at second, delivers the 1-1, and this one's going to be popped up. And that should be Felderman who's calling for it, and it will actually be Van Leur who dropped the ball. So maybe a little bit miscommunication there between Van Leur and Felderman on who's going to catch it. And as a result, Kudernoff escapes some frustration and gets another crack at it here on the dropped ball that was in foul territory the entire time. So it goes into the books as a strike. And it'll be 1-2 on the count here to Kudernoff. So that third out still evades Brandon Valley. This one bounces back into the backstop, and the two runners will advance into scoring position. And it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes, and things falling apart here for Brandon Valley in the top of the third. Five runs, 4 of those 5 runs scored on 2 outs. There's a strike on the, let's see here. And that will be the third out. So they will strand 2 on base. A little anticlimactic strikeout call there, but a strikeout nonetheless. 8-1 as the Dickinson Roughriders get 5 across the plate in the top half of the third. They have a total of 6 hits to go with that. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
When one of us comes up short,
We all come up short.
there's no vape in team.
Think there are only school supplies in your child's backpack? Think again. 5 e-cigarettes were hiding in plain sight. Parents, do your homework.
Learn more about vaping at health.mn.gov/e-cigarettes.
Hi, this is Mike from Magnitude Sports. I'd like you to do me a favor if you would. Subscribe to this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. The channel is owned by a family I've known for over 2 decades and features some sports stars from previous Magnitude Sports broadcasts. So if you're the type of guy that likes fishing, hunting, dogs, you can get all that and more right here on the Dakota Fins and Feathers YouTube channel. You can also find them on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's educational, it's captivating, it's fun. It's Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe today. All right, welcome back. Sorry, missed that last pitch there. Just adjusting something in the background, so that's my fault. It was Brighton Stroh. He was 1 for 1 with an infield single. Now he's 2 for 2 with a double to add to that.
Right fielder number 3, Jack Blomgren.
It's the third hit of the game here for Brandon Valley. And now another runner's on base via hit by a pitch. Jack Blomgren's 0 for 0, and he's been hit by a pitch 2 times today.
First baseman number 2, Max Peters.
So we'll see how many of those 5 Brandon Valley can get back. They definitely want to get at least a couple of those back here if they want to stay in this game as we head into the 4th inning after this here. Right now in the bottom of the 3rd. But Dickinson looking pretty good here in this game. It's the first time I've seen Dickinson play in person. Seen him play on video a couple of times, but in person it's the first time this season. And I like what I see so far. 1 ball, no strike. Here to Max Peters. He reached on a fielder's choice last time he was at the plate. Once again, Brighton Stroh on second, Jack Blomgren on first. The runner's on for Brandon Valley. They'll try and pick off Stroh. And Jack Price is there to keep that ball from going into center field. Count will stay where it's at 1-0. Cooper Ness, Caleb Severin are the potential next two batters we'll see this inning. Of course, we'll see Dickinson again a little bit later this season when they get back to North Dakota. They will host the Fargo Post 400 Stars, and we'll be there for that game. It's part of a Western North Dakota road trip that includes a stop in Bismarck, and then Williston, and then Dickinson, or maybe Bismarck's on the way back from Dickinson. I can't remember. I have to look at the schedule and be sure. It is actually about an hour faster to get from Fargo to Omaha than it is to get from Fargo to Williston. And you have to cross 2 states to get to Omaha. So the bases are loaded now.
Left fielder number 21, Cooper Ness.
For Cooper Ness. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out back to the pitcher on a 1-3. He got a good swing on it, but he drilled the ball right into the turf, and it took a slow roll forward. Sobolek had to charge in to grab it and then turn and fire it over to first to complete the out. And there's a strike. It's nice pitching here from Sobolek. Dickinson has had a couple of tough losses this year against conference opponents, but they also have delivered a couple of tough losses to conference opponents this year as well. Dickinson had 4 games played before most of the conference had 0-1 games played. 0-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Now a throw to third. He's safe at third. So that is a strikeout.
Center fielder number 14, Caleb Severin.
I'll put the first out on the board. Caleb Severin reached on a single to center field. That was the line drive hit that nearly hit Sobolek in the face. Got his glove in the nick of time, and it snuck its way out into center field after that all went down. 1 ball, no strike. Fouled away, back over the left side of the press box here for strike 1. This will be pitch 40 for Sobolek, and he's already played 2 1/3 innings, which is pretty decent as far as numbers are concerned. He likes that pitch, and he's about to throw it here. And it'll go inside. It'll get by the glove of Medina into the backstop, and the run will score as he tried to flick it back to Sobolek. And now another run will score. And will they get the runner out at second, over to third? They have him in a rundown now. I believe that's Max Peters after all is said and done. And they do tag him out. So after that's all said and done, we have 2 outs on the board, 2 runs across the plate, and it's an 8-3 ball game. And there may be an error or 2 in the mix of that as well. I'm trying to keep track of it all mentally here as I saw it happen. So wild pitch into the backstop, scored Stroh. And then catcher tossed it back to the pitcher, but that ball was mishandled, so that would score that run. Peters would advance to second on the same error. And then Peters would get tagged out between second and third. Swing and a miss, and that is a strikeout. And we'll get the rest of that play recorded here during the break. It's the top of the 4th coming up next. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, if I got the numbers down right, the rundown from third went 165-456 on the tag out. Maybe 165-45. I don't remember if the last play got in there or not. I believe we have a new pitcher on the mound here for. Oh wait, no, let me double check here. Yes, we do have a new pitcher on the mound for Brandon Valley. So Luke Felderman done at only 12 pitches according to my numbers. Looks like Max Peters, and no, there's a 1 behind that too, so it'll be Cooper Ness. So that means we have a new left fielder. Find that that's one thing I didn't bring on this trip was my binoculars. I have like 9 pairs of them back in Fargo, but tip foul at the plate and strike 1. The batter is Jack Belliat, 1 for 2, struck out swinging and a single. That single was the hit towards second base where Ryder Mueller dived and batted the ball down on a couple of occasions with his glove to keep it from going into right field, but wasn't able to make a play on a throw to first. And as a result, Belliat would reach on an infield single. 1 ball, 1 strike. And they'll miss for 2 balls and a strike. Three balls and a strike. The Brandon Valley pitchers have not thrown a whole lot of strikes so far. Strike two. So a full count now here. Ball, strike, ball, strike in that order. And the payoff pitch. Payoff pitch is lifted up, and he will not make the catch. He probably lost that ball in the sun. If I'm being 100% honest, I would lean towards that explanation. So drop foul, so we'll stay at 3-2. That's the second time that Will Van Leeuwen has lost the ball in the sun trying to make a catch. Actually, no, it was one of the previous pitchers who miscommunicated with Van Leeuwen, the third baseman. Ground ball to Max Peters. He'll step on the bag for the direct ground out to first, and that puts out number 1 on the board.
Third baseman number 10, Brady Hecker.
Brady Hecker 0 for 0, been to the plate twice. He's been walked on both occasions. We're an hour and 7 minutes into the ball game now. 8-3 in the top of the fourth with one away. And the pitch, high for a ball, 1-0. Walks are one way to guarantee that you will not win a game, but it's only the top of the fourth as well. So if Dickinson's not careful, they could eventually fall into the same pitching trap as Brandon Valley has failed to dig themselves out of here. And we're at 3-0 once again to, I haven't been keeping track. I think this might be the 8th or 9th batter who's faced a 3-0 count for Dickinson. And there's a strike there. And it's 3-1. Yeah, that's a nicely hit ball to left field, but right into the glove of the new left fielder.
First baseman number 9, Tyler Danbaum.
See if we can get his jersey number here before he turns around. No, it's going to be blurry. So Hecker with a fly out to left brings up out number 2, and Danbaum sends that one back into the post, and it even made me jolt a little bit. Oh, 1, did he check a swing? He did, 1-1. Danbaum 1 for 1, walk and a single to left field last time he was at the plate. And he'll rip this one to left field too, but it'll be foul. Good for strike number 2. Now up to 79 degrees. And a strikeout. Got him looking. Now we'll conclude the top of the fourth. It'll be batters 7, 8, and 9 for Brandon Valley, the bottom of the order. Van Leeuwen, Veld, and Mueller when we return after the break. Stay tuned.
When one of us comes up short,
We all come up short.
there's no vape in team.
Just off 52nd Avenue South.
Hi, this is Mike from Magnitude Sports. I'd like you to do me a favor if you would. Subscribe to this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. The channel is owned by a family I've known for over 2 decades and features some sports stars from previous Magnitude Sports broadcasts. So if you're the type of guy that likes fishing, hunting, dogs, you can get all that and more right here on the Dakota Fins and Feathers YouTube channel. You can also find them on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's educational, it's captivating, it's fun. It's Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe today. All right, Nick Sobolik on the mound. He'll toss pitch 42 when we get this inning started here, and he'll go against the bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9 the batters for Brandon Valley. 79 degrees and on our way to 90 under a sunny sky here in Omaha. Extreme heat watch also in effect. And the extreme heat watch conditions are expected by 11 a.m., which is in about 19 minutes from right now. Looks like we'll jump into the low 80s here in about 20 minutes as well. And at the pace this game is going, it may extend into that additional hour on the hour-by-hour forecast. And if that's the case, we could see 84 before this game ends. A little bit low, and that's a ball, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike now here to Will Van Leeuwer, the third baseman. And the pitch is in for a strike. So that's been the difference in this game here. Sobolek throwing mostly strikes, and 3 pitchers for Brandon Valley throwing mostly balls. That's been the primary difference in this game up to this point. And as I say that, Sobolek will push one far outside for ball 2. Van Leeuwer walked by Sobolek last time. Line drive, a little looper, than more than a high line drive, a high rainbow line drive right into the glove of Jack Price, the shortstop.
Catch number 8, Mason Bell.
Mason Veld pushed a bunt up the first base line that scored a run, and now he belts one to left field for a base hit. And a runner on, so Mason Veld now 1 for 2.
Second baseman number 41, Ryder Mueller.
Ryder Mueller 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice last time he was at the plate.
First runnings number 15, Luke Smart.
So coming in for Mason Veld is Luke Smart. One away, bottom of the 4th. Runner on, and it's Ryder Mueller, the batter, once again. They'll try and pick him off. Tag is applied there by Dan Baum, but he's back in time safely. Sobolek threw 3 and a third innings of work, and he has not reached the 50-pitch mark yet. Nice strike is called. So 0-1 here to Mueller. And that one's popped up into shallow center field, medium center field, we'll say. And Kuderna is there for the catch, and that's out number 2. Braden Knutson now. 0 for 2, struck out looking, and a deep fly out to left field on his last plate appearance. Sobolek will deliver. The throw back up to second on a bounce won't reach in time, and it's a stolen bag for Luke Smart. Pitch came across as a ball, so it's 1-0. And that last pitch was pitch 50 for Sobolek. 30 strikes on 50 tosses. And that is strike 31 as that one's fouled away for a 1-1 count. Ball 2. 8-3. If that score holds, we might get another inning. I think Sobolek will take the Roughriders through the 5th at least. And he'll hit, as I say that, he'll hit a batter. So that puts runners on first and second now. Brings up Brighton Stroh, 2 for 2, single and a double. Just needs a triple and a home run for this cycle. Haven't seen anybody hit for a cycle yet this season. Had 2 players come either a triple or a home run shy of it. But nobody there just yet. And smart decision there by Sobolek to realize that the shortstop was heading towards third and not make that throw. Still no pitches to Stroh until now. And that is outside for a ball, and it's a 1-0 here to Brighton Stroh. Two balls and no strikes now here. 1 hour and 17 minutes into the game so far. Going on, I'd say a medium pace. Not a fast pace, but not a slow pace either. And this one's inside for ball 3. Too many more of those. We'll drag the game out, though. We'll see if we can come back with a couple strikes here. Once again, Luke Smart on second. Knutson on first. Runners on for Brandon Valley. Lynx down 8-3 here with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. And even Soboluk thought he got him out there, but he must have got that right hand on the bag just in the nick of time. .3-0 to Stroh. Once again, 2 for 2, single and a double. And the pitch inside for a strike. Nice pitch there by Sobolek. Foul down the third base side. Three balls and 2 strikes now after being behind in the count 3-0. He battles back to a full count. He'll take a look at Smart on second. Wind and deliver the payoff pitch. Oh, and it hit him, and the bases are loaded. That one stung a little bit, and Stroh is slow to roll up. Brandon Valley coach will come out and just have a quick chit-chat to make sure he's okay, and maybe ask, do you need a runner? And Stroh will probably say yes or no by the time they both walk up to first base. So and now Dickinson is making a visit to the mound as well. So the bases are loaded with 2 away, and Jack Blomgren is the batter. Sobolek will stay on for now. Like I said, with the way he's been pitching, depending if he can get out of this bases loaded jam, I think we'll see him in the 5th. Otherwise, they might make a change. If the score becomes like 8-5, that might be the tipping point there. We'll see, though. Just only speculating at this point.
Right fielder number 3, Jack Blomgren.
Jack Blomgren, been to the plate twice, hit by a pitch both times, and he nearly got hit by a pitch there. That came a centimeter away from his left elbow. And the 1-0. This time it's outside for ball 2, so we'll see if he can battle back from a 2-0 count before he reaches that 3-0 count. There's a strike. So he does stay within striking distance here, no pun intended. 2 balls and a strike. And there's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So a nice recovery there for Sobolek. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he got him. And that will strand all 3 runners on base. And I'll bring up 6, 7, and 8 for Dickinson. Scheduled batters, Esom, Medina, and Hughlin. When we return after this, stay tuned.
Hi, this is Mike from Magnitude Sports. I'd like you to do me a favor if you would. Subscribe to this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. The channel is owned by a family I've known for over 2 decades and features some sports stars from previous Magnitude Sports broadcasts. So if you're the type of guy that likes fishing, hunting, dogs, you can get all that and more right here on the Dakota Fins and Feathers YouTube channel. You can also find them on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's educational, it's captivating, it's fun. It's Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe today.
Welcome back. We're live in Omaha, Nebraska here on this very hot morning. We're still at 10:51 local time, which means it's 9:51 for our friends back in Dickinson. Bottom, or not quite the bottom of the order. 6, 7, and 8. Will Esom, Malachi Medina, and Easton Hughlin will be the batters here that we see in the top of the 5th. We're an hour and 22 minutes into the broadcast. And Cooper Ness will start his 2nd inning of work here on the mound for Brandon Valley. It's their 3rd pitcher of the day while Dickinson's still on Sobolek. We'll see if they make a change going into the bottom of the 5th or not. My guess is that Sobolek will start the 5th, and then they'll monitor how he does through the first couple of outs. And if they do make a change, it would be mid-inning. That'd be my best guess. But that doesn't mean they won't make a change between innings either. So one of those 2 scenarios likely to happen. I'm leaning more towards the first one that I speculated on. Here's Will Esom, a deep double to left and a walk. And he'll foul this one back for a strike. It's 0-1. If Dickinson can score 3 runs in this inning, that would put the 8-run rule in 5 into effect, and then it'd be up to Brandon Valley in the bottom half of the inning to see if it would continue or not. And that's a fouled away pitch down the 3rd base line for strike 2. We're at 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Once again, Esom double and a walk. Medina on deck. Hughlin this inning as well for Dickinson. And Ness with the 2-2. Missed it. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Inside, walks him. Malachi Medina now 1 for 2. A fly out to, or a pop out to the shortstop and a single to right field. And that single to right field by Medina is what made the score 8-3. His bat is responsible for the most recent run for the Roughriders. Swing and a miss, strike 1 here for Medina. Hour and 25 minutes into the game now. High pickoff attempt. Foot wasn't on the bag, and Esom able to get back safely. And a hit into left field. Medina with back-to-back hits. It's good for a single. And then I'll bring up Easton Hughlin.
Designated hitter, number 8, Easton Hughlin.
And it will be Camden Kubis coming in to run for Medina at first base. And Easton Huglin's 0 for 1, ground out to second and a walk. Ness with pitch 25 here. Well, a couple of Dickinson fans, I think, were yelling out Bach, but it was close, but no, it wasn't, at least not in my opinion. And that is foul out of the batter's box, I think. And they'll throw it up to first, and that will be an out. At least it'll be an out for the moment. We'll see what the umpires come out with a decision here after a chat. Hughlin thought it was fouled out of the box, and they're gonna side with Hughlin here. So Hughlin will continue as that bat. It'll be no balls and a strike. Runners will come back to first and second. Inside for a ball, 1-1. And a nice hit ball. Oh, just off the tip of the mitt of Mueller into right field. And that will load the bases. And coming around third here is Will Easom. He will score. And that will unload the bases and make it 9-3. Another hit. That's the second time that Mueller has been the victim of a ball off his glove.
Second baseman, number 14, Emerson Simiano.
So Simiano will bunt it back to Ness, and that will be a bunt that will move his teammates to second and third and put the first out on the board.
Shortstop number 5, Jack Price.
That'll also bring us back to the top of the order here for Dickinson. Jack Price 1 for 3, struck out looking, a ground out. And a single, and now he has another single, and he'll tack on an RBI to this one as well. 10-3. Runners on the corners now here for Dickinson.
Center fielder number 3, Kyler Kuderman.
Kyler Kudrna 0 for 3. Ground out to second, ground out to short, and struck out swing. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Hour and 30 minutes now. 10-3 ball game. If Dickinson can get one more across the plate, that would put the run rule into effect, and Brandon Valley would be forced to score at least one in the bottom half of the inning. Otherwise, the game will come to an end. Unlike North Dakota rules, where it's 10-5, it's 8-5 in Nebraska. And a ground ball right to first. He'll step on the bag, fire up to second. Safe at second, and a run will score. So it's a direct ground out for Kudrna to first.
Left fielder number 2, Jake
It scores Hughlin from third, advances Price up to second, and it's 11-3 now. And that run rule I just talked about is in effect. Well, the only question is how many more can Dickinson get? High, ball 1. It's Jack Belliette, 1 for 3, struck out swinging, a single and a ground out. And his single was the other tipped off the glove of Mueller at second base that we were just talking about a moment ago. Outside, ball 2. Jack Price, the runner on second, as Mason Veld will walk the ball back to Ness and share some words. Two balls, no strikes. Ness delivers. Ball 3. There's a strike. 3-1. Brady Hecker waits on deck. 2 away. Dickinson has done a lot of damage here in the past 3 innings with 2 outs on the board. And this one will pop away, and the runner will advance to third, and it will be a walk. So it'll be a walk, and it'll also be an advance to third on a wild pitch. Runners on the corners now for Brady Hecker. 0 for 1, a walk, and a fly out to left. Vald will step in front of the home plate and deliver some signals to his teammates. 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-0. Runners on the corners. Jack Price on third and Belliette on first. Pitch 38 for Ness, and it's only his second inning of work, and that one's fouled away and be good for strike 1. I think he's recorded 3 outs so far. No, 4 outs. I don't remember if he came in with 1 or 2 outs in the top of the 4th. So he's at least 1 inning of work. 2-1 the count now here to Brady Hecker. Once again, 0 for 1, walk, and a fly out to left. And that one's popped straight up and directly over our heads. Fouled away pitch makes it 2-2. And now it's a full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. I am curious, I'm going to take a look here. On 30, there are 3 pitchers, 30 batters faced, 31 with the current batter. 64 balls thrown on 121 pitches. And there's a base hit to left field that will score Jack Price from third. It's an RBI single to put runners on first and second and make the score 12-1. Or 12-3, excuse me. So Jack Price scores. And that'll do it for Cooper Ness. We'll have a new pitcher. We'll tell you more about it here in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Mike from Magnitude Sports. I'd like you to do me a favor if you would. Subscribe to this channel right here, Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. The channel is owned by a family I've known for over 2 decades and features some sports stars from previous Magnitude Sports broadcasts. So if you're the type of guy that likes fishing, hunting, dogs, you can get all that and more right here on the Dakota Fins and Feathers YouTube channel. You can also find them on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's educational, it's captivating, it's fun. It's Dakota Fins and Feathers Outdoors. Subscribe today.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information, or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, welcome back. Find us online, YouTube and X, MSPN DTV. Get our broadcast schedule, updates on your favorite pro teams, Legion scores around the state of North Dakota from all 3 divisions, and much more. And take a look at our upcoming schedule here. You can see that we have a handful of games later tonight, 7:30. The Fargo Post-500 Stars take on Bryant, a team from Bryant, Arkansas. And then tomorrow at 12 noon, the Stars have Brooklawn, a team from New Jersey. And then on the 20th, we'll have the Stars game at oh wait, no, that's a game for the Comets back in Fargo. And then on the 20th, we'll be back at this field here as the Roughriders will take on West Side, or I should say, I forget. Battle Warriors. There we go. I have to change it on our schedule here too. Forgot about that part of it all. All right, so 2 outs here, and the new pitcher is Tristan Culp. And a strike is, I think, if memory serves me correctly, I think that's the first pitch strike from their 4 pitchers who have been on the mound today. The other 3 first pitches were balls. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Taylor Danbaum, 1 for 2, walks, single left, and struck out looking. And a ground ball towards second. Mueller will pick it up, toss it over to second, and there'll be a 4-6 force out on Brady Hecker, and that will strand 2 and end the top of the 5th. 12-3, Dickinson has the lead. And Brandon Valley would need to score 2 runs or more to keep this game going into the 6th. We'll see if they can do that when we return after this. Stay tuned.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information, or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, so my speculation was correct. Sobolek will indeed start the 5th inning, and we'll see how it goes for him. He kind of looked like he was trending down there in the 4th inning, but he was able to throw enough good pitches to stay in it there. And like I said, if the score, well, now that it's 12-3, you'd probably give up a few more runs before they would think about potentially pulling him here. But we'll see if Sobolak can go the distance, and he'll throw the first pitch for ball 1. Once again, the 8-run rule in 5 is in effect, so Brandon Valley needs to make the score 12-5, otherwise this game will not go to the 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And that is a well-hit ball to left, but it's right into the glove of Belliette as well. 1 out. And that'll bring up Cooper Ness, or he's the scheduled batter.
Cooper Ness.
And it will be Cooper Ness. Cooper Nasso for 2, grounded out on a 1-3 back to the pitcher. Last time he was up, they got him swinging as he went down on strikes. And he'll take strike 1 here, 0-1. So Brandon Valley down to their final 2 outs unless they can score 2 runs. And that will be a ball, 1-1. One-two pitch outside. Tried to get him to chase, and he almost went for it. But it's 2-2. And he just missed on the inside edge. And the 3-2 pitch, fouled back. We'll do it again as he hits the pole for the 2nd time here in this game. Sobolek now pitch 74 according to my numbers, and pitch 74 is fouled away for strike 42. Strike, ball, strike, ball, fouled away in that order. This would be pitch number 3, 6, this would be pitch number 8 of the at-bat. And he'll foul that one off. So pitch number 9 of the at-bat coming up, and Cooper Ness has fouled off 3 of the last 4. Sobolek will set, wind, and deliver the payoff. Inside and walked him. Runner on, and Caleb Severin is the scheduled batter.
Center fielder number 14, Caleb Severin.
Dickinson does have somebody warming up. Oh, no, they don't. No, they don't. That's batting practice for the next team to play. And that one will just miss for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 from Sobolek. That one's fouled off for a strike, 1-1. Severin, 1 for 2. Singled to center field, I believe it was. Yep, center field, and then he struck out swinging last time he was at the plate. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And 1 runner on. It's Cooper Ness on first. 2 balls and a strike now. Hour and 44 minutes time of the game as Nick Sobolek will toss pitch number 80. Once again, Sobolek trying to go the distance here and wrap this one up in 5. And he'll miss on that one, and it's 3-1. So on 80 pitches, 44 strikes, 36 balls unofficially. And the 3-1. The runner will go, and the throw up to second, and it'll be ball 4, and the throw up to second won't matter, so it'll be a walk. And now here comes the Dickinson coach, and that might do it for Sobolek. Maybe not. Like I said, you'd start the 5th and see how you do, and then they'll leave Sobolek on the mound. So you can give him a chance to finish this one out. 12-3, even if a run does come in, you're going to the 6th inning with a 8-run lead in theory at 12-5. Or 7-run lead. 7-run lead at 12-5. There's a strike. We'll see if he can compile a couple more of those. Will Van Leeuwer, 0 for 1, walking a fly out. Fly out was more of a looping line drive to the shortstop, Jack Price. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Cooper Ness on second, Caleb Severin on first, Mason Veld in the on-deck circle. In the 0-2, outside for a ball, 1-2 to Will Van Leeuwer. 1 hour and 47 minutes. We have eclipsed 80 degrees. We're at 81 now. Still on our way to a high of about 90. Could maybe see 84 by the time this game ends. Back to second. He'll be back in time. That's Cooper Ness, the runner on second. One ball, 2 strikes. Sobolik deals. Missed 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a strike. Got him. Got him looking. That puts the second out on the board, and it brings up Mason Veld. The 2 runs that Brandon Valley need are on base at first and second. One thing that you could have maybe done with Van Leeuwer is get a bunt down to move them over. That is to center field, or left field. And that'll do it. The Dickinson Roughriders will win this game via the 8-run rule by the final score of 12-3. Let's double check the numbers there. And now your numbers are right. 12 runs on 10 hits for Dickinson, on 1 error for Brandon Valley, and they left a total of 5 on base. And for Brandon Valley, they leave 2 on base in the bottom of the 5th for a total of 8. They got 3 runs on 4 hits on 1 Roughriders error and leave a total of 8 on base. So that will do it for this contest here. Once again, tomorrow night's game featuring the Roughriders and the Warriors will be on at approximately 7:30 tomorrow night, and we'll have that game for you here on MSPN. As we take a look at the schedule here really quick, there it is, 7:30 p.m. game on tomorrow night between the Roughriders and the home team. Let's put it that way. I need to get that changed on our schedule there. And then the Creighton Prep tournament continues, and we should hopefully have some Stars games on the 12 noon. They'll play North Platte in La Vista, one of the Nebraska communities I have not been to yet. And I thought I'd been to them all in this little area, but I guess I haven't yet. So that will be a look at your upcoming schedule there. We'll get the final score for this game uploaded here shortly, and that'll do it for game 1. So once again, your final score in this one, it's the Dickinson Roughriders 12 and the Brandon Valley Lynx 3 here, your final score. Time of the game, 1 hour and 50 minutes. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow night for the Rough Rider fans here on MSPN. Thanks for joining us on this morning game here on MSPN Digital Television.
The proceeding has been a copyrighted presentation of MSPN Digital Television. Follow us on Proceeding has been a copyrighted presentation of MSPN Digital Television. Follow us online by searching MSPN-DTV on YouTube and X to find broadcast schedules, on-demand broadcasts, and more. Thanks for watching MSPN Digital Television.